let me first say welcome, everybody. And second of all, the day is beautiful. The humidity seems to be non-existent. At least it doesn't feel as it did a few days ago. Two things really changed my life. One is when I asked my granddaughter Jessie how she sees the world. And she said, nothing disappears. Things just change the image or what they look like. And Tracy and Tammy, years ago, said that the universe knows when people need to belong to each other. And in the craziest way, inconceivable way, it joins people together. And tonight when I speak, I'll speak a lot about that.
Beautiful. And let me just tell you that Tammy is really sending you hearts for that. Melanie Bell is watching. Kent is watching from Sweden.
I'm so glad.
Lauren is watching. Marcia Goldstein-Graber is watching. I don't think I've missed anybody. Somebody says, nice haircut, Hetty. Phyllis says, nice haircut. Fran is watching. Fran Rosenberg. And Melanie says, good evening, Hetty. Tracy and Tammy are wonderful. Marcia is sending you hearts and rainbows and lots of love faces. And feel free to start.
I'd love to. I'd love to. And it's going to be a very, very wonderful program because there's so much I need to say. And I've thought it out so carefully.
Julie's here. Julie says, hi, my love.
Hey, Julie. Okay. You know, when Tammy and Tracy said that the universe has the strangest way of bringing people together, well, this book is by Steve Jacobson. How did I get to know Steve Jacobson, who was a wonderful writer for Newsday of Sports? And I'm going to begin by introducing his and Anita's daughter, whom I painted on. Kenny, could you show Neela?
Mm-hmm.
She's sitting on the car, and she's wearing a black sweater, a red sweater right here. There she is.
Yes.
Neela. And she leads me right into Steve and Anita.
Okay.
Okay? Kenny decided he's going to walk with the camera to specific people when it's necessary. Okay? Steve wrote a book. I said to him the other day, could you tell me, because you know sports in a way nobody else does, and I've watched you interview people, and you really find out who they are. Tell me, how did people like Jackie Robinson and other black people deal when they went south? And in this awesome book, I'm going to keep on holding it because, unfortunately, it's not being published anymore. And I so badly need this to be republished so that people can read it. Because it dealt with what people go through when you make them feel not just second class, but useless and below you. When the players, after winning championships, finish playing a game, in so many states, they couldn't go to the same hotel. If they were black, they had to find a black family that would take them into their home. the game would be finished and triumphant, and white players could go into a restaurant, black papers could not. Sometimes somebody would bring them a sandwich because they could only buy food in black-owned stores, and there weren't any. So they ended up going from house to house, hoping they would get food. And as I kept on reading this book, I kept thinking, how does one become a Jackie Robinson or any of these great people when they play a game of greatness, and when the game is over, they cannot eat anywhere, they cannot sleep anywhere, because there could have been only one black or two blacks, later on maybe three. The loneliness of not being accepted. And I know why I say that, because when Hitler came and I was 8 years old, I was not allowed to be in school anymore. I was left behind. But I think, why was I saved? Because I had a teacher, and I'm putting her into the painting, and all I have is a tiny photograph of her, and I'm putting myself next to her.
Watch out for the corner of the
Yes.
That's my only fear.
Right.
Yeah.
This is going to be her, and that is going to be me,
Oh.
because she protected me. In my class of children who were accepted, in other words, they were not Jewish. There was no color barrier there because everybody was white. That was before airplanes flew back and forth. I never saw anybody a different color from mine until I went to Panama. But in my class, my teacher, whom you will see painted one day, even though all I have is a tiny photograph, and Kenny will show you that from next time when I have it looking at something. But in that class, nobody ever spoke against me, because she had to explain when I had to leave the school, when Jewish children could not sit next to Christian children. And somebody said, "Where are they going?" And she said, "They're going to a different school." And I've said this before. At that time, nobody said a word. Nobody made a bad sentence. And the next time when I heard something that really affected me was when I was going to the American school in the Canal Zone in Panama. And the teacher brought up the subject of greatness and mentioned Albert Einstein. And one of the kids yelled out, "But he was only a Jew." That remains with me. And I know that I need to keep it, because otherwise I wouldn't understand what I'm trying to teach people, which is, don't hate. You're the loser when you are. Okay? And that makes me go into the next part of my speaking. I want to speak about how children hurt children. No child, I'm sure, who went to any public school or even to other schools doesn't know the pain of being told, you can't sit next to me, I want so-and-so to sit here. I would like to beg you to learn kindness. This is what this painting is about. When Eric said to me, Hetty, let's do a painting showing kindness. Someday when all of us are gone, the only thing that people in history books will know, they will know about slavery. They will know about Holocaust. They will know about people buying guns and going into a school and killing children and teachers in Sandy Hook and other schools. That is not all we are. And this painting is my painting of people whom I personally know. I need to tell you, I went through my records of paintings. The average painting has 300 to 400 people in it. So altogether, I have painted thousands of people whom I sat next to, stood next to, and got their features to be theirs. So I'm pretty much an expert of saying, not one of the people I ever painted told me of something where they did not see themselves as good people. Let's go back and think a minute. What child did we say, don't sit next to me, I want so-and-so to do it? You know, there was a girl in school whom everybody avoided. She wasn't good looking, but she did have an odor of dirty clothing. And one day, because I was known not to be critical of people, she invited me to her house. And I went. And it was a poor house. And I, at that town, was a refugee. And I lived over a bar in a street called Cash Street. And the street had many open doors. And in each room there was a big bed with the door open and a woman sitting there. Prostitution? Yes. No place to go? They had a roommate for them. And why did we segregate them? Why do we segregate people? Why do we say, you're not as good as I am? This painting, what I would love, as we keep on inventing great things, I'm waiting for the day when I point to one of you and suddenly you stand here. I mean, why not? If I can see planets now that died billions of years ago, why can't one of the people I loved, like my teacher, suddenly appear? So let's wait for more miracles. But if not, I have them here. Okay? I would like to tell you about the people I was just painting. I went, there is a group of people who decided that they would honor survivors of the Holocaust. I am one, even though I was one of the lucky ones, because Panama rescued us before concentration camp. And because I was married to Eric, who at 16 went into the first concentration camps and went to so many others. And when I met him, I just finished those years of concentration camp. And he wasn't able to speak of it. But bit by bit, as the years went by, at night when he shook with memories and his body shook, how do memories disappear? Maybe they don't. And so maybe when you speak to somebody and you say, I don't like this person because he or she does this or that, we don't know what they had in childhood. Could I ask you, practice kindness. Practice it. It needs to be practiced. Children do not have it. Become a grown-up who does. Okay? So when I went to the wonderful luncheon that they gave, it was all filled with volunteers. And it is so easy when you want to do something good for somebody to take your checkbook and to write a check. Every politician says, send $5, send $10. How many ask for you to be kind to somebody? Give me money. The people I have just been painting were at that luncheon, and I'm going to show you the photograph that I'm working from. Kenny, thank you, if you hold that corner. But
that's okay. It's clear enough, Mom.
Oh, is it clear enough? Okay.
It is, yeah.
Then, this is Lisa.
Where is she?
Right here, this unfinished person. And next to her is Stephen, and I'm leaving one space here for another one of the organizers. These are not people who took a checkbook. They appeared. They were there. They gave us food and laughter and music. And I would like to speak. This is only the first layer.
But you've done a lot this week.
Oh, I did a lot, yes. Then, now let's go over to the corner. I met this amazing woman who has a horse. She doesn't keep it here. She has to travel to feed him. But this horse is loved by children. And she told me, Kenny, are you sure they can see?
Yes.
Okay.
I can show that again, though.
Yes, because...
And in fact, that's Kathy Lahane Cawthorn who says, hi, Hetty, it's Kathy, horse.
Yes. And the other two sides, when the paint dries, I will put trees there because she loves trees like I do. And this is the joy of painting. I can put people where I want to. And these two wonderful people, I think I told you about them last time. That's Lee and Cheryl.
And Lee and Cheryl said, hi, Hetty. Lee and Cheryl are enjoying your presence.
Okay.
And should I tell you some of the other comments?
I'd love it.
Okay. Melanie says, I think I read this one. Good evening, Hetty. Tracy and Tammy are wonderful. Marcia said, hello, my sweet Hetty. Julie says, hi, my loves. And John Tercuso says, "Hi Hetty, hi Ken. The power was out here since noon, but came back just in time. Hugs from California." And Kathy responded and said, "Hi Hetty, it's Kathy, horse, LOL." Ed Weedman said, "Hi Hetty and Ken, sorry I'm late." And Julie said, "I cannot believe the progress you've made on the painting. So many new additions. So
Yes.
exciting." And Janine said, "I was going to say the same thing. You have been working hard, Hetty, and it looks amazing."
You know what? I'm giving myself a gift. I've been making things beautiful, and I usually wait until the end because you have to balance things. But I'm thinking, I am 94, 93 and 15 16ths, I guess.
Even more.
Even more.
Hetty's birthday is Friday, everybody. Her 94th birthday is this Friday.
You know, this morning, my physical therapist came, and I said to him, "Ben, I feel so sluggish today. Is it because I'm getting older?" And he said, "All of us sometimes feel sluggish. Just enjoy it." And I thought, he's right. I'm going to allow myself to feel sluggish. So I sat down and I ate. And I have to tell you, ice cream is my favorite food in life. Now, the joy of having fun, okay? Kenny, could you point over here?
Can I lay it down again? Because I think the sunlight is better. The light
Yes,
is better.
yes, definitely.
Because I don't want to take the painting off, the camera off of you.
Oh, I promised Kenny that I would speak of something else, and he's right, I need to. Why am I able to paint? Because it has become so difficult. I cannot use my easel because my hand shakes. Right? I cannot touch a nose or a little anything because my hand shakes. But if I lay it flat, then I go like this. But it means when I was painting over here, when I painted my Neela, I could only do it because my friend Peggy was already dry. To finish Peggy, I have to do her grandchildren, or I can't be there. So what should take a minute takes preparing. But do it. Whatever you need to do. If it means climbing a mountain, maybe not physically, I can't do that. But as my daughter once said, the goal has to be permanent. The way of getting there is optional, whichever way you get there. I have to do what Eric said we should do, to do a painting that shows the kindness and the goodness of all of us. All of us. Somewhere in there is that kindness. Pull it out. It's not easy. I was in the subway and I saw a woman who was always there. That was when I could use the subway, when I was not in my 90s. And next to her was always a bag filled with bandages and cleaning fluids for her body, because she had no home. So everything was carried in that plastic bag. And I put money down like I always did, like most of us do, because that's the easy part. A nickel looks as big as a dollar and can be afforded in most cases. And she thanked me, and I kept walking, and then I turned around, and I've told this story before because it stays within me. And there was a tough-looking guy standing there holding out his hand, and she was putting the money in. And I thought, I'm well dressed. If I called the police, they would come. But when I leave, and I thought, so if I would take her home with me, I could save her. But nothing I give her would stop that man from taking it. And I thought of the people who hid Anne Frank and her family. And I thought, my parents, my brother Richie and I went into hiding when the Hitler people came. Nobody told on us. But Anne Frank, who lived the same way as I did, in hiding, was caught. And she died in the concentration camp, the way it was described in the museum. They always build museums. But in that museum they said that she lay, when she died, it was by an open door, wearing practically nothing and dying of typhoid in the camps. And I thought, wait a minute. That's my story, except that I was saved when Panama sent us visas, my uncle in Panama. But nobody stopped him from sending them. And I thought, maybe with this painting I can continue what Anne Frank did. Maybe I can say, we exist. We are white and black and Taiwanese and brown and Chinese in this painting. And our last names are from every country in the world. And it just occurred to me today, Tammy and Tracy, did this happen? Is it possible that my life has been saved to do another part for Anne Frank, who was caught and died? Maybe the universe allows us to continue. I don't need to say more.
Mom, this was so powerful, but I have to say that you just also created a flurry of comments about your birthday and about ice cream. I don't want to break the moment, but can I read them?
Yes, everything.
Okay.
Because they are true. I love ice cream.
Greg says happy birthday, and Tammy says happy birthday, and Janine says happy birthday, and Julie says happy birthday week. Greg agrees with you that he loves ice cream too. Phyllis says, wow, happy birthday with 1 million emojis. Tammy says, I knew you ate ice cream. Julie says ice cream is the best and asks you what your favorite flavor is.
everything.
Everything. And Julie says, I'm glad you leaned into the sluggishness. You deserved a break after all your painting productivity. And Lee says, Hetty, Cheryl and Lee wish you the happiest of birthdays. We love you. And Barbara Wakey is watching, and Julie says,
Oh, Kenny.
sorry, folks. Julie says, thank you, Panama, for saving our Hetty.
Thank you.
Lee said, you inspire us all to be kinder, better people. Tracy says, happy birthday, Hetty. Lee says, we'll have ice cream with you soon. Marcia says, happy birthday to you from your favorite Jew. And Julie says, love you, Kenny. And Kathy says, you're such a bright light.
Can I
I
say?
love your smile. See you soon, Hetty.
Can I say something to Sultan? You know, all that I have accomplished was because I wanted to understand what makes people be who they are. And I have spoken to so many, and I am so awed by our greatness. We are awesome. Not just the people I painted, but we, as human beings, look how far we've come. Look how we were. We burnt witches at the stake. If a man said, this guy whistled at a white woman and he's black, they killed that young person. They didn't ask questions. It couldn't be done now. We are evolving. Let's evolve together. Let's think in terms of kindness. It's all that's needed. I will not take that woman from the subway into my home. Do you know the ugly part of me? When I realized the only way to save her would be to take her with me. You know what popped into my mind? But then I could never have time to paint again. I remember thinking that. And that hurts me. Goodbye, I love you all.
Wait, one more thing. Julie,
Yes.
such a powerful night. Thank you both so much. Human beings really can be awesome. And you remind us of that every Monday and every day. Hugs and kisses.
Thank you.